Hi, my name is Gary Laws, and I'd like to welcome you today to Perspectives on Christian Living. It is my sincere hope that these devotionals will be helpful to you as you seek to serve your Lord and draw closer to Him. Now join us, won't you, for today's devotional. Hi, my name is Gary Laws, and I'd like to welcome you to this edition of Perspectives on Christian Living. Today we're going to talk about the subject of home alone. I've been doing some research recently, and I've discovered that household demographics in the United States have shifted dramatically over the past few decades. One-person households, for example, have jumped from 13% of all households in 1960 to over 27% just recently. Some say even more than that. Nearly 30 million Americans now live alone. There are currently more single households in the United States than there are households containing married couples with children. About 1/3 of these singles are men and women 65 years of age or older, our senior citizens as we often refer to them. The most recent annual data from the Census Bureau reports that 7.5 million senior women and 2.6 million senior men live alone. Now, as if this is not enough, many seniors living alone find that loneliness is the biggest single issue that impacts their daily life. Brandy Chastain once said, "I think I'd like to be able to heal people's pain, whether it is hunger, loneliness, or whatever." Well, given the enormous problem that exists for those who do live alone, is there something that you can do? I would suggest that first, if that's your desire, we need to have some understanding of how debilitating loneliness can be. Mother Teresa once said, "Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty." Audrey Hepburn, the famous actress, once said, "When you have nobody you can make a cup of tea for, when nobody needs you, that's when I think life is over." If we are looking to make a difference in the lives of those lonely, we might start by finding a way to make them feel wanted. Suzanne Collins, author of The Hunger Games, has said, "I realized for the first time how very lonely I have been in the arena, how comforting the presence of another human being can be." You can be that other human being. Loneliness also can bring on illness of every sort. Emotionally, loneliness can sap a human being of even the desire to live. How sad that is, but nevertheless true. There are millions of lonely people who need someone to invest their time in their lives. Someone who is willing to take a genuine interest in them and include them, making them feel they are wanted and needed. I once read this quote, "Sometimes I feel so lonely, the kind of helpless feeling when everything you're used to has been ripped away, like there's no more gravity and I am left adrift in outer space with no idea where I'm going." These realities make the need for inclusion even the more important. Loneliness leads to nothing good, only detachment. And sometimes the people who most need to reach out are the people least capable of it. So I ask you the question again. What can you do to make a difference in someone's life? Take a look at those around you. Make an attempt to identify needs that exist and then determine if you are able to meet some of those needs. Perhaps the next time you go to dinner, you can take a lonely person with you. If you're going to the supermarket, is there someone who might benefit from having you take them along? Is there someone who would love to get a telephone call from you, or perhaps even a personal visit? You might even take a gift along with you. Remember someone on their birthday with something more than a card. Stop and pick someone up for church on your way. Are you going on a family outing? Why not include a family friend or someone else you know who would benefit from the family atmosphere? There are many other things you might think of, probably far more than I could address here today given the limited time. The important thing is that you start right now, giving these matters some thought. Some Bible verses in Mark 12, verses 28 through 31, I find challenging. And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all? And Jesus answered him, the first commandment of all commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. You have the ability to enrich the life of someone who, through no fault of their own, is home alone. Will you consider doing something today? May God bless you.